Hello friends and everyone else, viewers, first-timers. The Middle East plays an important role in the shape of things to come, and inside of those things to come, the events that will unfold. Cal Thomas is pretty straight talker. I'm on his page reading an article, Gaddafi bites the dust, what's next? And that's a good question. We never exactly had it explained to us. Who would be in power if he were removed? And whenever the onset of it was being put together and instigated, I think that we were told our role would be just a short period of days. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe he said that. We'd be talking about the teleprompter in chief. Let's look into this. Gaddafi's death ushers in a new era. And that was last Friday's Wall Street Journal. Clinton, Secretary Clinton, has dropped about 11 million on Libya, 135 million since the uprising began. No doubt borrowed from the Chinese, since we don't have that kind of money. Why do Democrats think money is the answer to everything? Let's see if the rebels submit receipts and expense vouchers showing that they spent what they spent. We've been assured by various sources throughout the misnamed Arab Spring that these revolutionaries are genuine Democrats who want free elections and will guarantee at least some rights, if not equal ones, for women, religious minorities, and perhaps even political opponents. But the attacks by Muslims on Coptic Christians and their churches in Egypt ought to be a warning sign that an Egyptian and Libyan version of America is unlikely to bloom in such putrid soil. Turkey just got popped with a big earthquake and a swarm of aftershocks, which are smaller earthquakes. Turkey was supposed to be the shining light of the 21st century Islam, a beacon to the rest of the Muslim world. Instead, Prime Minister Recep Tayyip Erdogan has been turning more and more to Islam's conservative wing, while rebuffing Israel and behaving in ways not befitting a U.S. ally or member of NATO. In Tunisia, where the Arab uprisings began, an election was recently held. Initial returns indicate that a once banned Islamist party, Ennahda, may have won a majority. And Afghanistan isn't turning out to be as many people hoped. Many had hoped. The U.S. State Department reports there is not a single public Christian church left in Afghanistan, the last one having been razed in March of 2010. In March 2011, a Congressional Research Service report showed that Afghanistan has cost American taxpayers more than $440 billion, and that figure is still going. 1,700 lives, and still going. And the country is as intolerant of any faith other than Islam as when it was run by the Taliban. Is this progress? This is progress? If real progress is to be made in Libya toward representative democracy, women's rights, religious pluralism, economic stability, and diplomatic cooperation with the West, the first step must be to rewrite the National Transition Council's draft constitution. Article 1 tells us where the rebel leadership wants to take the country. Islam is the religion of the state, and the principal source of legislation is Islamic jurisprudence, Sharia law. Should Libya's new leaders approve a constitution without that clause, if they keep the Muslim Brotherhood at bay, which is now active in other Arab nations, experiencing upheaval, and if they turn toward the West for more than economic aid, embracing the most fundamental of human rights, he will move from pessimism to guarded optimism. Confidence isn't warranted when a headline in the London Daily Telegraph says interim ruler unveils more radical than expected plans for Islamic law. Than expected? What are they drinking? Cal remains a skeptic that Libya is capable of heading in a direction that improves the lives of its people, aligns itself with the U.S. and our interests, and lessens tensions in the regions. But he's open to evidence to the contrary if it's not based on wishful thinking. So you read into this, and it's just what it was all set to be in the beginning. Removal of leaders, replaced with hardcore, even worse, scum, and the enforcement of Sharia law, the hardcore Sharia law. We in Oklahoma had a little deal in the courts about Sharia law here in our own state. So it's serious business when we talk about introducing Sharia law over here. But the gist of the article is that it's being wanted to be instituted as the national hardcore law, religion, things to go by. Okay. We have Occupy Wall Street. Well, let's just read a little bit. The protesters plan to join the New York City Halloween parade on Monday. Now, when you're demonstrating, I think their law is you can't wear a mask. So they've had some people arrested at the rally for wearing masks. That's not within the law, apparently. But when you have a parade, and there it is, they have a law that bans mass gatherings, and they've enforced that rule, wearing masks. Dates back to 1845. They can wear masks if for a masquerade party or entertainment. So when they have this parade, they're going to allow them to put their masks on and walk around and stuff, and not going to take them away, fine them, ticket them, or whatever they do. And so you just read a little bit about that. Occupy Wall Street set up Occupy Halloween. Said protesters had been invited to join the 39th annual Village Halloween Parade. Occupy Halloween urged protesters to organize costume-themed blocks, suggesting ideas such as Wall Street zombies, corporate vampires, and V-masks, the Guy Fawkes mask made popular by the graphic novel V for Vendetta. Okay. Protesters say they are upset the billions of dollars in bank bailouts doled out during the recession allowed banks to resume earning huge profit, while average Americans have had no relief from high unemployment and job insecurity. They also believe the richest 1% of Americans do not pay their fair share in taxes. New York Civil Liberties Union Executive Director Donna Lieberman said, "Behavior that falls within the exemption cannot be criminalized simply because it has a political message." Okay, now this little tiny bit here that's pumped into this article is really misleading, because I've read a whole bunch of stuff that these people, whoever they are, real, sent in and paid, as you know, service employees union, whatever. I've seen so many demands that this is nothing. You know, for them to say we're upset about this, because they've got other things in there like a living wage, a minimum requirement, hourly wage, just demand after demand after demand, and they don't even list them, you know, in half their articles. You really have to search them out and find them, because a lot of them, you know, make it look like they're just mad because of this. But when you find out all these other different demands they have that have nothing to do, I mean, when they're talking about they want a guaranteed job for life and things like that, that doesn't have anything to do with this, a bank bailout. So when you find out all the list of demands, you can see that their agenda has nothing to do with Wall Street. It has an underlying agenda. Wall Street is just, well, it's just another little piece they use in their agenda. They want you to get mad at Wall Street. They want everybody to get mad at Wall Street and blame Wall Street, because if you're blaming them, you're not blaming who it really is. And that's why they're not at the Capitol, and that's why they're not knocking on Barack Obama's front door. Because they're not supposed to be at the Capitol knocking on his front door. They're not supposed to be. They're supposed to be placed in the media, just like this, and made to look like they're trying to. Some good people are out there, but they're all mixed in with the others that are paid, that are from different unions, etc., that are told what to do. Well, when you think who's doing this, really, well, we already know. I mean, Soros is involved, obviously. He was mentioned early on. That's what he does. If you read his autobiographies and stuff, things about him that's been written, that's what he does. It's his modus operandi. And heirs, well, Obama told us he was a pal of his. Well, youthful indiscretion. That's all it was. Nothing to worry about. And when you think of all these different radicals, elements, and who's giving them the money, you don't stop there. Who is telling people like Soros what to do? There's always somebody over them until you get to the top of the pyramid, and you already know who's there. So you know this is coming from someone other than George Soros or Obama or heirs. They're just players, puppets, gophers. Do what I tell you. That's why you get to do what you get to do. That's why I got you where I want you, to do what I tell you. So, be thinking about who's over them. And you come up with the Illuminati, Rockefeller, Blackstone, Rothschild, just to name a few. They'd squash George Soros. He's not even a pimple on their behind. So, they run him if they want to. So, they want to run the world. Well, they use people like that. all the time. They have been for however many years it turns out to be when we finally know everything. So let's go over here. We'll look at our space weather. And there is some northern lights here, apparently. A real nice picture. This is from the CME that we absorbed on the 24th. I have seen some other ones myself, and they had a whole lot more red in there, but this is a real good one. Said it filled the sky in every direction, even to the south. I've never had the pleasure to see them up close like that. Now this is the CME that hit the magnetic field, and we got some of it. So we can go ahead and watch this. Watch it blast it out. Traveling faster than 2 million miles an hour. Took about 41 hours to cross the Sun-Earth divide. Let's see. It was pretty geo-effective. It had a knot of south-pointing magnetic fields, and they partially canceled Earth's north-pointing magnetic field at the equator, allowing solar wind plasma to penetrate deep into the magnetosphere. Okay. It's really over. There's nothing to worry about. It wasn't a super huge one. Well, let's go and see. And we got G1. None, none, none. Everything appears to have calmed down. So let's see. What are they telling us? The solar activity is expected to be low, with a slight chance for M activity all 3 days through the 28th. Let's see, 1324 and 1330 are the most likely to have any activity. The geomagnetic field is expected to be quiet to unsettled levels with isolated active periods on day 1, the 26th, due to lingering effects from the CME from the 24th. Mostly quiet conditions are expected on day 2, the 27th. By day 3, quiet to unsettled levels are expected due to effects from a recurrent coronal hole high-speed stream. Okay. Oop, that's not what I wanted. Let's see, mid-latitude K index at 0 UTC on the 26th of October was 2. Okay, the mid-latitude K index was a 2. Well, we're low, so we'll take a look at the model. And we're not really going to get anything, just like they said. can see there it's a little higher, but it's already went past the 25th, or it will be into the 26th, is what I'm saying. Once it gets there, it's down, leveling out. So we should be no problem on that, unless something out of the ordinary comes about. Let's see what we've done on the earthquake situation today. This is 5.0 on the 25th from the Jan Mayen Island region. Pretty far up there. And we do have a 4.3 on the 25th in Greece. We already knew about Turkey and everything they'd already had. Whoop. We have a 4.9 on the southwest Indian Ridge on the 25th. And over here, let's see if we have any 25th. We have a 4.8 on the 25th in the Kermadec Island region. 4.8 on the 26th, south of Fiji Islands. 5.2 October 25th in Vanuatu. 4.5 on the 25th in Indonesia. 4.6 on the 25th in the Molucca Sea. 5.3 on the 25th in Japan. 5.2 on the 25th in Japan. 3.3 on the 25th in Alaska. That's probably, well, that is following the 5.8. Tsunami warning has been taken off now. Way up here, a 2.2 in Washington. A blitzkrieg of 2s, of course, usually throughout California. A 2.3 on the 25th in Nevada, a 2.1 on the 25th in Nevada, 2.1, 3.6 on the 25th in Arizona, 2.7 on the 25th in Arkansas, 2.0 on the 25th in Virginia. Looks like a 3.3 on the 25th in Puerto Rican region, 3.1 on the 25th, Puerto Rican region, 2.5 October 25th, Puerto Rico. Then you have a 5.2 October 25th, Chile. And 5.2 on the Ascension Island region on the 25th. I think, well, UARS. That's all I'll say about that. But it looks like we've scanned the globe and checked everything out. So other than the Turkish earthquake swarm and the big 7, nobody else is really getting anything from the CME, if that played a role, which it probably did to a degree. Well, now let's take a look over here. A cloud of fragments remaining from Comet Elenin has been detected. October 22nd, 2011. The author, Leonid Elenin. After many attempts to find any remains of Comet Elenin, they have been located. The first message came from Ernesto Guido, Giovanni Sostero, and Nick Howes. On their images, a small extended cloud with low surface brightness was visible. This cloud is easily seen on Ronald Negustre's image, which can be seen at the left. During the night of the 21st and 22nd of October, at our observatory, we also made follow-up observations of the comet, and the motion of the cloud was confirmed. You can see the animation here. The moon is leaving and the comet is climbing higher in the northern sky. I think in the near future new images will be obtained of this object, once known as Comet Elenin. Okay. Well, there's that. There's a cloud. I don't see a problem with this anymore. I think whatever it was dragging with it, if it got CME'd or we sent something and blew it up, or however, it obliterated it into such small enough pieces. I don't think that traveling through the trail is going to pose a problem now. We have had no problem in September. We didn't have any problem in October. So we're going to have to just roll on through because we don't have a reverse to stop and let anything go by. So I'm just saying, based on what didn't happen, from what it looked like it would happen, then this shouldn't be any problem. And we're just going to have to go and find out as we go along. Okay. Let's go ahead and, this is an earlier one, turn to dust. As we know, first signs of the breakup of the comet were noted in the middle of August by Michael Matiazzo. And then we read, at the moment there is not one confirmed sighting of the comet. Possibly searches for what remains of the comet will be carried out by more powerful instruments. And we just saw a picture of supposed cloud. And there we go. And then you can read about this breakup of the comet. And this was September the 3rd. That's his link for that. That's what he's saying. Observations remain. Wait a minute. Soho could not see the comet, neither could Northern Hemisphere observers, where the comet was due to become visible beginning the second week of October. He made one of the first attempts to find the comet on the 6th when it was still low on the horizon. But he can't say it was actually the comet. Okay, well, that's just what I can say. As far as the comet goes, it looks like it's been blown into smithereens by whatever method. And then it shouldn't be a problem. Well, that was quick. I stopped it there. That's pretty quick. But anyhow, we saw what he had to offer. I know where it's supposed to be at, but I'm just not seeing nothing. Not anything real good images, you know, clouds or something like that, but if it's in pieces, and there's a whole lot of stuff flying around out there. So what do you think? Do you think we still got a chance of impacting something from the remnants of this comet? Let me know what you think. You can come right over here to Space OBS. .org/en, the English version. That's if you're searching it. That's all you got to do. Oh, we can even check some comments. Oh, we're having some kind of... Oh, there it is. Okay, this guy here wants to know what the object is in the attached photo. Okay, so this is like I've seen this one, and that's like another comet, I believe, streaks by. I believe this will... Oh. Well, she wants to look at it, but you can't look at it. It's private. See, this is a private album. He found it too. And he gives a password to it. Okay. Well, they're talking about parameters and things. Parameters for determination of a valid picture. He wants him to mark the object so he can tell him what it is in that picture. Hi, we can't see relative large fragments with size about a dozen meters, and this debris already passed the Earth. Okay. Okay, and it must be a response. I'd like to congratulate you for your discovery. I want to make you a question about the cloud of fragments remaining. Can you tell what is the possibility one of those fragments has a diameter more than 100 meters? I'm asking you because according to this source, this link, a small body of 400 meters in diameter would produce a 60-meter tsunami. Well, that could be miles. Miles or meters, whatever his intention is whenever he left that. And he said, Debris already passed the Earth. That is what Leonid Elenin has said. So the cloud, apparently, according to this guy, will pose no problem, and the things that I haven't seen, which would lead me to raise a red flag to you, don't look to me like we're going to have a problem. It could change. Oh yeah, things can change on a dime. And that's why we got to keep watching. We're going to have to go through it and prove that nothing's going to happen. That's the only way that we can. We got a checklist, so to speak, every time we have to deal with stuff like this, of getting in situations where we don't know for sure what's going to happen. You just go through it. What happened when you went through it? What didn't happen when you went through it? It all goes into your knowledge base. Well, we scanned a lot and talked about a lot. I hope everybody has a, well, hump day. A Wednesday is never the best day. Kind of a long day usually when I work them. But, gotta do it. Oh, that was a tough loss for the Oklahoma Sooners, wasn't it? They really played bad. Got way behind. Tried a good comeback, but hey, it wasn't meant to be that day. I say something about that Seth Daggy for Texas Tech. From what I understand, that young man had both of his knees went out. So it's been like 3 years and he hadn't played, so this is like his first time in his whole time at Texas Tech, I believe. And that guy there, wow. I mean, he threw a ball like sweet. Perfect, on the money. I hope he gets a chance to play in the pros and his legs and knees will hold up for him. Because that kid there, that kid's got a rocket arm and he can put it right where it needs to be and he makes all the throws. So hats off to Seth Daggy beating the Oklahoma Sooners. God bless everyone. I'm keeping my eyes open, watching everything, sharing my thoughts with you on what I think's going down. I pray for all of you. You're all dear friends. Speak to you soon. I'm going to go out and check out some stars now and do some looking up.